What up? What up?
Hey, players and ballers,
Yeah,
moguls.
Yo, young players Anomalies Club.
Oh yeah, anomalous.
The young gentleman's
Fortuitous.
irregularities compendium.
Yes, the oddities and curiosities.
The young hustlers curiosities expo.
Yeah, join our online class. $50 a week.
Welcome to Big Chuff.
Big cheese.
So, we chatting. Hold on, I'm gonna adjust some levels as we go.
Yo, we got the big cheddar.
You may hear some changes on your end, y'all. Anyways, so
Pocket change.
So me and Collie B haven't recorded. It's
been a while.
In like a minute now because both of our lives have just been going haywire.
Yeah. Oh, I love that band.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh.
And
yeah, I got a girlfriend now.
and yeah, exactly. So that just makes everything crazy.
Yeah.
And me, I've just been grinding and hustling. And
Yeah, you're a grinder.
I
You're
was
a hustling grinder.
I was vacillating, and like my mania was making me hyper fixate on other things. I've been doing a lot of guitar stuff.
Dude, good.
So that
Beautiful.
makes it hard for me to focus on anything else when I'm doing a lot of guitar shit.
Oh, that's it. That's fucking it. I've had it with the fucking magic fucking twat, man. Fucking had it with it.
I kind of bowed out for a little bit too, and I was just like went into the Oblivion remaster, but my computer can barely run it, so it's like I'm struggling. I'm struggling to enjoy that game.
Dude, and it's like, well, I guess like people have been playing it. I think a lot of people have had the same experience that I've had with it, where I've kind of bounced off it. It just because like it just became so janky.
I love the jankiness.
Well, I would just play regular Oblivion, and like there's no quality improvement, so it's just there's something that just doesn't feel like
it's just slight
it
too.
just doesn't hit. Yeah, it just doesn't hit in the way that playing the actual game would.
I figured they would improve the AI a little bit,
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing is they had made any improvements. Well, speaking of, this is something we hadn't planned on talking about. We're talking about AI in games. Yeah, let me finish this thought.
Yeah, go
we'll
ahead,
try to
sorry.
be less ADD, but then remind me AI in games. Like if they had made any real improvements, I think it would have been. I would feel more justified in playing it. But like,
I mean, like the survival element, like in
just
Skyrim
like anything. Yeah, like if they had just updated some quality of
food.
life, like whenever they remaster, Dark Souls or whenever they, anything like that, like any of that shit. Or like when they redid all the Resident Evils and stuff,
Okay,
like
gotcha, yeah.
making quality of life improvements for like modern gaming. You could even leave all the bugs in there, just like change some things to make it. But like the loading times are crazy, even on PlayStation.
Yeah,
and like
they
I
are.
have a PS5, and the loading times are so wonky as fuck and shit.
The old school Oblivion was just like instantaneous.
Yeah, and then it's just like, and there's a lot of dude. I run like harder games now that take less time to load, and this game is ostensibly not that huge.
And it's an indicator, I feel like, what the new Elder Scrolls is going to be like, graphic wise and like performance wise.
Dude, I think that like we have like a real capitalism is like really got in its teeth and like it's become like a canker like root on the in the forest of gaming because in everything obviously, but like gaming in particular because wages and shit are so bad, and this will actually bring me to the AI point, but like wages and all the AI in gaming is getting so bad that like
development teams
schedules they're all burnt out and shit. So have you heard about the Darth Vader in Fortnite?
Yeah, actually, my girlfriend's roommate has been playing Fortnite like crazy, so I've been seeing all the Star Wars shit. But I don't know what that means, if there's an analogy.
So the
behind it.
Darth Vader in Fortnite is James Earl Jones's voice from Sold by His Estate.
AI
version, and will like talk to you in like...
gotta get a chug jug, homie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, apparently he's like kind of like an asshole, and anything you bring up, he'll be like, "That's a distraction from the Force," and shit, or like from the objective. But like
so it's like
he like plays along. If you piss him off, he'll like leave the group and shit like that. But he like squat up with you and talks to you, and he like responds to the kind of playing that you're doing. And if you're like trying to get him to talk about weed, then like he'll like won't do it, and he'll piss him off if you keep pushing him on it.
So you can like interact with him.
You can interact with him, and it's like he'll say your player name and all that shit. By the way, how's this drink?
Chungus Belungus. Yeah, I haven't really been drinking for about a month and a half, but I've had a couple drinks. Yeah, it's a little tart and heavy. Got some kick to it.
Yeah, because it's called a caipirinha.
Oh,
normally a caipirinha.
Is that Brazilian or Portuguese?
Yeah, it's Brazilian. There's like this clip that I'll probably insert here.
The Caipirinha Man. This indispensable icon of Brazilian beach culture is known to start with fresh lime. Muddle and mash with more lime juice, sugar, ice. The magic ingredient, cachaça.
It's like there's a clip of Anthony Bourdain on a beach talking like he's in Brazil, and there's like some dude like walking around with a cart and shit. And just like he like shakes up a fucking on the beach, has like all these bottles in a big cooler, and just shakes up a caipirinha and puts it in a glass cup. And Anthony Bourdain's all like, "Well, you know, I love the caipirinha, blah blah blah." And he just does his little monologizing about it, which also reminds me of something I was going to bring up before we go. I'll go back to the fucking Darth Vader shit. But there was this fucking shit that was like getting pushed on my. I'm always like looking at like Israeli Zionist pages on X and shit because I'm just seeing what the fuck they're saying because they're the craziest people. Yeah. But there's this one lady who's she's like Barry Weiss's, who's like this fucking crazy Zionist that's out there. It's her sister, Susie Weiss. She has this clip that went viral that's her talking shit about Anthony Bourdain and like
why? Because he was pro-Palestine.
Well, yeah, that's not her. She doesn't come out and outwardly say that in the clip, but like that's what everyone has like kind of sussed out about it. Just like, of course, this fucking lady's pissed off about Anthony Bourdain,
a guy who's dead already.
But yeah, she's talking about
been dead for like a decade.
Yeah, she's like the cult of personality Anthony Bourdain left in his wake is frankly insufferable. And then she's just like, it broke a generation of men to eat, and like she's just talking all this shit about like how men now care about like, you know, I put all this weight into this, you know, a good taco or good and all this bullshit. But it's just clearly her fucking trying
Cuisine is woke, dude.
Yeah, because he's too woke for her, and he likes Palestinians, and it pisses her off because the Israel episode is pretty fucking rough when he goes to the West Bank or whatever.
Man, he didn't really hold back.
Another video of hers is going around because she like went viral at one point where there's like a news story about her because she was talking about how she like couldn't get any colleges, and I was watching it, and she's just like, my parents weren't good at parenting. They never taught me the piano. They never taught me violin. And it's just like this. She couldn't get into any colleges.
The fucking Von Trapp model of parenting. Yeah. Like what?
Like, wow, this bitch gets a news story because she couldn't get into college. What the fuck?
Oh, I think I saw that actually. Yeah.
Anyways,
goof mode.
Back to the goof time. Back to the AI. Yeah. So James Earl Jones's voice is in there, and it's like an AI that talks to you, and like. Rightfully so. There are bunch of birds just flew by.
Is that birds? It sounded like little kids.
No, it was a bunch of huge ass birds. Birds. A bunch of huge ass birds.
Bunch of birds.
But
Caipirinha.
But like my ratios on the caipirinha are all off because it's probably really. Is it really limey?
It tastes like like if lime was in a laundry wash bin.
It's got like a whole lime in it, basically. Because I tried to do enough for 2 drinks. I put enough lime in for 2 drinks.
What is that?
For some reason, the rest didn't equal out. And then so like,
did you put bitters or something in there?
No, I think that's just because like I muddled the limes.
Oh, okay, I got
and so you get all the oils zest from the shit. Yeah,
I got
So you just gotta let it water it down and pound through it. This will convince you to not be drinking.
No,
anyway.
It's fine honestly because I think about I had Malort recently too.
Oh yeah,
that was like
Malort.
Malort kind of it wasn't as bad as the Fernet, you know.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't mind Malort.
Yeah,
is because like people talk shit about Malort because they are not exposed to all the weird. We talked about this in previous episodes.
Yeah.
They're not exposed to all the weird, like anise fucking licoricey liqueurs that are just out there in the world that just exist from like peasants throwing everything in their garden into
trying to ferment something.
Yeah, ferment some shit. Yeah. Where did you try Malort?
It's just one of the hardcore homies came down to Bradenton and he brought Malort. He had like a bottle of Elijah Craig whiskey and then he brought Malort and I was just like, all right, let me try it. And my girlfriend was telling me about she was like reading a Reddit thread of like how people were trying to describe Malort as being like, it tastes like a grapefruit stuffed in an ashtray and blah, 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 just all this like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But she's just like, reading them off to me.
But it's not even any of that.
And it doesn't even taste like that. I'm just like, it just tastes like fucking, I don't know, just like stinky, bitter, old alcohol. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing is people just aren't hyped to the fact that, like I said, for hundreds of years, fucking poor Europeans and people and shit have been like throwing shit into barrels and letting it get nasty and then get wasted off of it.
It has to be like epigenetic that like they have this taste for it, you know?
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Because I'm like, it's a rough adjustment.
Well, it all starts medicinally, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like with the Jaeger. The fucking... Yeah,
they all think
licorice.
They all think it's fucking medicine, and then it evolves
it probably
into.
Was back then.
That's
honestly,
what I'm saying. They all thought it was medicine.
It's just bacterial funguses inside of them.
It's like when you would hear the stories about how people would trip off of absinthe, and it was like, no, it's because these motherfuckers like moonshine made it in a bathtub.
Yeah.
There's like French fucking boulevardiers going out there, walking the town at night, and then coming home and making fucking absinthe in a bathtub and dripping it over a sugar cube,
like chemical bombs and shit.
Yeah, putting it in these old like brass contraptions where you're fucking the copper is oxidizing into the drink. Yeah, you're drinking rust and shit like that.
Your brain is effectively like just melting.
They're like, whoa, dude, absinthe, you actually like trip on it. No, I've got like bottles of absinthe here. It just tastes like licorice.
I think you're having an aneurysm, my friend.
It's also mad high proof, too. It's like fucking 100 proof.
Yeah.
Shit rips.
I think if your body's not adjusted to it and you just take a good heavy swig of such a high alcohol, it makes you feel like you're hallucinating, you know?
Yeah.
Probably the vapors and fumes will get you all fucked up, too. Your brain's not getting any oxygen.
Well, that's like that whole like pink elephants thing. You know that like, have you ever heard that?
I'm not sure.
Well, that's the thing is like, I'm only exposed to it because some older media that I've had. I think it's out of fashion now, but that used to be a way to describe getting drunk is like, oh, he's seeing the pink elephant or whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's like even a Simpsons
the birds
thing.
Flying around.
Yeah,
like the stars,
exactly. Because they talk about how like, you start drinking and you know, blah, blah, you're hallucinating. It's just like, I've never blacked out ever, but like, I've never hallucinated from alcohol,
No, definitely not.
So, but I have like an acute mind.
Yeah, exactly.
I have an acute mind that never...
You're sharp
never
like an
falters.
Arrowhead. You're sharp like a Comanche arrowhead.
Exactly, dude.
When you were partying, I studied the blade. When you were having premarital sex, I mastered the blockchain.
Dude, that's actually my favorite genre of YouTube video right now. I was talking to Julie about it. Is archaeology?
The old school like.
The amount of fucking amateur archaeologists and shit that are out there that are like just fucking like, here's a 45-minute video on Calusa Mounds in southern Florida.
Oh, yeah.
It's
that's cool though.
And I'm like, holy shit, man, because it's all shit that like, I'm watching this one right now. I think it's called Ancient Americas. I'll give it a shout out because it's fucking that good. But like, yeah, Ancient America, I think is what it's called. And yeah, Ancient Americas.
That's like the opposite of brain rot. But it's done by like Gen Z kids too. So
yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like there's like this brain rot element to it.
It's like millennials and Gen Z. It's all these people who are clearly like, it's amateur archaeologists that are like, it's people who clearly have like PhDs in the subject and didn't know what the fuck that they were going to do with an archaeology degree. So what they did is they started making content with it. Yeah, and fuck yeah for that, because
gotta make some money somehow with
have
your degree.
Have you ever seen Esoterica?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy that just does like crazy religious, like occult studies and stuff, but he's like mad smart and well read and cites everything and all that shit. Well, like people talk about the internet being fucked up, but we have shit like that where
it's a choice. It's a choice, but it's also pumped to you by your algorithm too. You got to kind of look for it, you know.
And dude, I'm a man who's like constantly in search of knowledge. Do you get that way? Are you just like always looking for shit to learn?
No, I don't. I'm looking for a term that's the opposite of brain rot. It's like brain food. Something. It's just something that hits, you know. Yeah. But it's like I feel so like just beaten and dystopian when it comes to just the amount of just mindless dribble. Yeah, I need something that actually like makes the blood flow to my brain and make me feel like I'm actually like an adult. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I actually know about the world around me instead of just like haha funny meme. On to the next one. Scroll.
That happened to me because I just recently got into a new comedy podcast called
Which
Guys.
is fine. There's nothing wrong with like, mindless comedy and just like goofy shit, and wanting to joke.
So I got into this podcast, a podcast about guys.
Yeah, you showed me them. Yeah,
where
they were
just
pretty
talk
funny
about guys, and it's good as hell. I love it. But they because I listened to like every fucking episode they have out. They've got like 100 episodes out or something right now, more than 100 episodes out.
Can I interrupt? Do you start from the beginning or do you start from the newest to oldest? Like, do you go oldest, newest, oldest when you start a new podcast?
I think it depends on what the. I usually have a pretty standard pattern so far, but it really does depend on what the podcast content is, but I would say like 90% of them, what I do is I listen to the latest episode if it's a brand new podcast, or I find an episode that, like, for good example, for guys or for a lot of podcasts, because I like Doughboys.
Yeah.
If the Doughboys guest on an episode, I'll go and I'll listen to that episode with the Doughboys. And then I'll go find another episode with guests that I like on that podcast.
On the same podcast.
That doesn't have the Doughboys. And I'll just bounce around and listen to all the guests that I like the most.
Okay, so you kind of like take little tidbits.
Yeah. But for example, I was a late adopter to Chapo. I didn't get into Chapo until Matt had his stroke. The very first episode that I listened to of Chapo, where I was like, because I was absorbing a lot of, I needed more lighthearted leftist content. Right. I was never the kind of dude that like got my wasn't like a Hassan dude.
Yeah,
I never got my politics.
It's hard to find enjoyment
entertainers.
From
Yeah, I never got my politics from entertainers. I always got my politics from like history books and theory, and I'm not using that as a brag. I'm just saying.
Of course, yeah.
I'm just saying that like I always got dry academic politics. So I was like, man, I wish I could just get media or start watching content that was lighthearted but leftist.
Right.
So that I could still, scratch that itch. And then everyone was like, oh, that's Chapo.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Chapo's like apparently like the biggest fucking podcast in the world other than Joe Rogan for the longest time.
Oh, no shit.
Because they've been doing it for like fucking 25 years or some shit.
Really?
Yeah, they're like crazy popular.
Like pre-Donald Trump, like just pre-Donald Trump.
They started during the 2016 election or something.
Oh, that's not 25 years.
Yeah, I know. I'm just exaggerating.
Okay,
yeah. I'm just exaggerating.
Like what?
But they've like been podcasting.
They've been around since 1999. So before podcasts were a thing.
No. They've been like podcasting and shit for fucking ever. But like, yeah, I'm being hyperbolic for comedic effect.
I'm rusty. All right, it's been a month.
but yeah. So like, so I got into Chapo that way, and the very first episode I listened to was the episode where they talked about how like something was up with Matt. So I have never listened to, which apparently was like the big thing. Was like the vibe of Chapo pre-Matt pre-Matt's stroke, where it was the main three hosts, which was it Will, Felix, and Chapo.
Yeah.
Feels weird to talk about another podcast on a podcast, but whatever, it's content. But like I had never been experienced to that vibe. So
it was always post that.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of a ranty, but my point being about that, going back to the structure, is that because that's a news podcast and shit, I have not gone back. Like, I'm not going to go back and listen to every episode of Chapo.
Not current events. Yeah. Previous.
I listened like maybe a month or two back from where I was at a certain point. And then that's about it. But like if it's a news podcast, when you get a fucking month behind, you're like, oh, I don't need to listen to this.
Time keeps on slipping.
I wanted to make a weird quick point too about these whether it's news or just podcasts or anything that kind of keeps track of current events or commentates on it. Sometimes it's, I don't know, for me, I always like to do a retrospective that, like, for example, with the previous election and the Trump administration, it's only been about 6 months.
Yeah.
A lot has happened in those 6 months, but we're constantly keeping up with the now, the present. And that's good, right? It's good to be present. But at the same time, it's like sometimes you need a retrospective as to the amount of history and changes and things that have occurred in the past few months. And sometimes I like to go back and look at a certain timeline, like a point in time, and try to like catch up to the present from there, to just kind of give myself a bit more of a perspective of the historical ramifications of what we're going through and how much has changed. But then you sometimes think about that with like the past 10 years or the past 20 years in American history.
You have to think of it like that.
I mean, I don't know. It's just it's a little overwhelming because so much shit happens, but it's just so in and out. It's so in and out the saloon doors,
Well,
it's like, where do you find yourself?
So this is like this actually is a distillation of why it's so hard to communicate like leftist ideals to reactionary populist
right, because you
people.
have to be on the same page historically.
And exactly what you're talking about, it's so complex that when, like with immigration, for example,
right,
like there are tons of complexities to immigration. Like immigration is good, but it's good for specific, like it's good for cultural reasons,
Right,
and
as a
there's
melting
good, like
pot.
there's all these good reasons, but then it's also some of the reasons why immigration has been like pushed as being a good thing are actually things that are good for that are actually bad for class divide.
Right, and
like
they're also
having
good for
cheap labor,
the liberal status quo as
yeah,
well.
it's good for liberal
and
status
it's good
quo.
for their message
Exactly.
of basically faux allyship.
Yeah, so
you know?
that's an example of why it speaks to how it speaks. That's an example that speaks to how it's not easy to just have like a quick on the left. It's not easy to have like a quick like sound bite that's appealing in the way
right,
that like
or an easily digestible
Yeah.
talking point without any nuance.
because
you know?
because what's true is that you need. I find this with talking about Cuba. The amount of
yeah.
people that try to tell me like, oh well, you know, Cuba is really bad right now and all this stuff, and who are like a lot of shit in Cuba is bad and
From the perspective,
and we've talked about this in other episodes. Like Cuba has it really rough compared to other countries.
Yeah.
A lot of these
But what is
socialist
the
countries,
context?
a lot of these socialist countries that people talk about being bad, you have to exactly what's the context? It's being under the thumb of imperialist policies and
Exactly.
American interventions for the past century.
So it's
none of these countries were allowed to evolve on their own. They were
Exactly.
always intervened upon. They were always oppressed upon. And that's not an easy thing to communicate. People just say, socialism bad, look at Venezuela.
Exactly.
But it's like, well, no, look at Venezuela. Shit
What
is
happened?
bad there,
Yeah.
but why did shit end up bad
What
there
kind
in
of
a country
interventions
with
caused it to
more
be that way?
fucking oil than is in the Middle East or whatever? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it's insane.
So I think it's the context of the situation and why it's so shitty, but it's also the lens and perspective, right? And it's heavily propagandized on both ends. I actually had a conversation with my father recently where we met in the middle a lot when it came to our world perspectives.
Yeah.
But then ultimately we had this stark divide. And I was telling him, I'm like, you do realize that you consume a lot of propaganda, and I'm aware that I do as well, but you have to understand a lot of the shit that you're saying. Like, I'm not going to out him on his opinions on the Israel-Palestine conversation, but he said some dumb-ass shit, and I'm just like, you're saying that because you're literally just consuming nothing but propaganda
Yeah.
and regurgitating that, and you're not even trying to see it from another perspective. So it's the context of the situation and the lens from which you see it and understanding if you're being propagandized or not.
Dude, I'll even put my sister on blast because your dad, not to put him on blast, but your dad's coming from a right wing perspective. My sister is like
A lib?
Yeah,
Shit
she
lib,
has
kind
like
of.
a liberal Zionist perspective of
No
like
way.
she acknowledges that she's not a Zionist, but she
undertakes some of those values.
Yeah, she like she has this whole idea of like whenever I criticize Israel as a country and as a concept, she like will push back on it. Like, you know, not everyone in Israel is bad. And I have to tell her, I have to be like, all of the settlers, like the people that perpetuated apartheid
Yeah.
were bad.
Yeah.
The everyday people that are the same way
They
that
commit
you
violence
think, the
against
same way that
indigenous-
people think all Trump supporters are bad and all this shit. The people that perpetuate those systems are bad people.
Yeah, absolutely.
No matter if they're going to school and living their lives and like are kind to each other and all that. When the Poles in Israel, they basically are short, you know, just shy of saying fucking nuke the entire thing.
Right.
Like when you
And they
ask the
justify rape
average
gangs
when they
war crimes.
Yeah, when the average Israeli will riot so that their fucking soldiers can rape people in prisons, then like there's
That's
something
objectively amoral.
fundamentally wrong with the society.
Exactly.
And the society is wrong because it's a fucking ethno state.
Yeah, no, it's an apartheid state that should not exist.
When
And that
people say, like, why
it was
can't
the
the-
fucking Balfour Agreement? It was the UK.
It was it was
that's been
everyone's
around.
fault. Stalin was just as guilty because Stalin. I mean, I'm
Stalin was
for the
anti-Semitic
most
too,
part.
wasn't
No, he wasn't anti-Semitic at all.
Maybe I misheard that.
Yeah, no, not at all. A lot of what they call the Red Terror was Stalin actually purging far right anti-Semitic and like far right Nazi sympathetic
Right, because he wanted
Russians
Hitler's
in power.
ass.
Yeah, even members. So like when he killed a bunch of people in the Soviet Union that were members of the Communist Party and everything, he was like purging the anti-Semitic right-wing like reactionary factions
Traditionalist
of the
fascists, yeah.
Soviets. I'm not even talking about like like not Menshevik, not nationalist. I'm talking like right wing
in the communist party.
Yeah, right wing communist. So like he actually, one of his biggest writings he talks about like one of his biggest publications, because his biggest one is like is a dialectical materialism and something else, but one of his bigger, because he wasn't a big writer or anything, but one of the things that he wrote was about the Jewish question in the Soviet Union.
Right.
Talked about Jewish sentiment. So no, he wasn't anti-Semitic or whatever, but he did. Actually, it was quite the opposite, because he helped push through Israel. You know, he agreed. Churchill and
so he was taken a fool by the Zionists.
Yeah. Because he saw it as just politically necessary at the time to do, and then in some of his writings he was sympathetic to the Zionist cause in general, but like Stalin's not the point. They're just
shit I heard Churchill saying.
Yeah, I mean Churchill's a fucking piece of shit.
He was frankly a Nazi.
Yeah, Churchill's worse than Hitler, dude.
He was frankly a fucking Nazi.
He killed more Indians in fucking Bangladesh.
That's what I'm saying.
He killed like 14 million. He like knowingly starved like. It was either don't quote me on the number, but it was an exorbitant like millions and millions of people in Bangladesh and shit like that during the war. He said, well, they don't get food anymore. The food that they produce needs to go support our war efforts. So he
called them like Neanderthals and stuff.
Yeah, he knowingly starved populations. So
that's why to this day I'm like, fuck Brits.
Yeah, I mean, Israel's a great example, like, not to get too far astray of our main conversation, but Israel's a great example of just like, it is really hard to simplify the world, like the world
into regurgitatable talking points.
Yeah, our worldview is dialectical in nature. Like, we believe in like a historical materialism, and we believe in like a dialectical thing, which means we think that history is constantly having a conversation with itself and evolving,
pushing and pulling and evolving.
Yeah, there's like the thing that people don't realize about Marxism is that Marxism is like is an evolutionary science in the same way that like evolution works. To where there's no
it's all inclusive.
Yeah, there's no teleology to Marxism, because there's no teleology to evolution. Evolution is just a natural process of the society is just naturally doing these things.
Right.
And historical materialism, I shouldn't say Marxism, historical materialism specifically is not teleological in as far as that it is just a thing that exists in and of itself.
Yeah,
historical materialism is something that's happening. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like this dialectic is something that we're exposed to, and that's just an impossible thing to explain to like everyday people.
Right, because you expect these people to have some education and to be able to sit down and read a book,
Yeah, or to understand cause and effect.
It doesn't even like, and I hate to sound snarky when I say that, but it's like there is a stark like anti-intellectual movement in this country. You can especially tell with the dismantling of the Department of Education, as if that isn't extremely obvious why that is. But at the same time, it's like there is no room for the nuance in this conversation, especially with the news cycle constantly pushing these talking points and moving on to the next thing, because that's the point. You're depending on people's ignorance and their lack of education to indoctrinate them into little bite-sized tidbits and to constantly keep moving. Don't even have a conversation with nuance or sit down and think or read a book. Just keep moving. That's why I believe that the brain rot shit with the internet is almost specifically designed that way. People have this like artificial ADHD these days because it's being pushed onto them to basically have this goldfish-like mentality, where it's just, 2-3 second long time attention span.
Yeah.
And that's all another mechanism of oppression and control to keep people sated with their ignorance.
And the thing is like,
and entertainment, the bread and circus concept of.
And a lot of people will hear that and they'll think that like there's something conspiratorial in that. But the fact of the matter is
pretty obvious.
Well, but the fact of the matter is that it doesn't even have to be a conscious effort on the part of the ruling class.
Yeah, it's like subconscious.
It's just a natural it's just a natural byproduct of the system. So if you want you want workers in the first world that are happy to just be workers and that
to
will
placate
work
them.
and to placate them. So what do? You give them consumer goods. Okay,
Right.
well, the consumer goods, they can't afford all the consumer goods. Give them credit cards to get those consumer goods. So we're in the 80s now. Start giving them credit cards to buy all the consumer goods.
And the commodification of these goods,
well, they're
too.
buying all these consumer goods and they're...
It's like 60s, too, honestly.
Yeah. They're buying all these consumer goods and they're now running up the credit economy. And then there's this new thing. We start getting into the late 90s, early 2000s. This new thing called the internet. Well, this new thing called the internet opens up all these new ways to monetize things. Information spreads quicker. We want
the dot-com boom.
We want to not give workers as much. So if we want to not give workers as much money, and we want them to keep purchasing and keep consuming stuff, we give them credit cards, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, we make it so that, like, the things that they buy are more easily disposable. The content that they consume is more easily disposable so that they're constantly... We're no longer making TVs that last 50 years. TVs last a year or two.
Right, the object obsolescence.
Your phone is obsolete in 5 or 6 years.
Exactly.
There's a new
Cars
game station.
dilapidate.
There's a new car every year, even if it's the same model. All that kind of shit.
Stuff, right.
So make everything fast consumption.
And it keeps these industries alive, like big oil. It keeps
exactly. And then
city planning alive.
While all that's happening, you have this parallel thing of the internet and the ability for people to become their own bosses with content creation,
right,
and with being able to monetize
and hyper marketing,
the whole techno-feudalism thing, being able to monetize yourself and being able to now
make a brand of yourself.
You no longer have to sell your labor to somebody else. You are now giving up your time for free,
right,
to these algorithms that are collecting data on you.
They're
and
data
getting
mining,
better at
like
selling.
what Galen was saying.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah.
All this shit is just getting better at selling you itself, and it's getting better at making consumers. And so what does that lead to? It leads to people who I love my wife, but my wife last night starts showing me this liquor thing where she's like, I really want to try these. And it's this jug where it's like a pre-mixed cocktail that you add ice to, and then you put tahini on it, and you shake it up in a thing, and you can buy it at the liquor store.
It's the novelty. It's a
trend.
New
thing. There's always a new thing.
It's a novelty, right?
She wants to play pickleball, and I love her so much, but it's the new thing. It's always the new thing. It's always the new thing, and I'm guilty of that too.
Because you want to be included. It's a sense of community, but it's a false, empty sense of community.
Yeah,
and it's all it's all vain and superficial.
Well, because and not my wife, but people. There are a lot of people whose identities. Yeah. There are a lot of people. I love my wife because this isn't her, but there are a lot of people that I take a lot of umbrage with whose identities is based on what they consume.
Right.
Whose whole deal is
surround their entire personality based on
that's
the next
that's why
thing.
Goth frustrates me as a concept.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've talked about this in a podcast before.
Go off, King.
I don't know if I've even talked about this on podcast before.
You got the floor.
But my problem when I see goth shit is you just bought a bunch of stuff.
I have the one and only 24 karat gold Labubu.
I think I've said this word for word on the podcast before.
Right.
My
Before
problem
it was a
with
lifestyle and you were ostracized by society. And it's the music mainly.
All of it is just as much as you want to say that there's something counterculture about dressing in all black and putting on corpse paint and all this shit.
It was a unique subculture.
Every single thing that you just did is predicated on you having bought something to do that thing.
That's why I'm kind of pissed off with the bands that I was in last year with the grunge and screamo movement. I've been a little bit upset with the fact that there are some screamo bands that have come back from the 90s and early 2000s that are coming back because of the new wave of the resurgence. Yeah. They're calling out these Gen Z bands that have been starting as TikTok Riz screamo, and the whole Nirvana grunge thing that was happening with pastel grunge.
It's the whole
it is all phony.
It's the whole shtick in the pit.
It's a gimmick, yeah.
Where people are like, oh, we're going to do a Yu-Gi-Oh. There's a Yu-Gi-Oh. There's a TikTok of a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament happening in the pit, or a guy's eating out some girl in the Cradle of Filth show in the middle of the pit. There's hundreds of examples of dude is some guy put out his prayer and is praying to Mecca in the middle of the pit. You know what I mean? There's all this, which I would be cool with that.
Yeah,
that would be
hilarious.
Sick. That would be sick. I haven't seen that one. I made that one off the dome. But
10 years ago when Snapchat was popping off, there was this kid called Supreme Patty who would go to these EDC electronic shows, and he would put salt and limes in his eyes and fucking cut his face with razor blades and shit. And it was you're just doing that shit just for just to be like outrageous and to get attention.
That's performance art.
No, I honestly love that. Honestly,
yeah,
at the
like
time
that
I followed the fuck out of him.
I like that. That's performance art to me. But these people that are just
where is he now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But these people are just like, oh, we fucking set up a Build-A-Bear workshop kiosk in the pit. That's like this kind of shit.
I know what you mean.
But
it's
I mean?
Gonna be it's gonna be even more extreme and something weird and more niche.
Yeah, and it fucking sucks because it just like makes me feel like an old man because I'm like, man, all these shows and shit it just makes me not want to go to shows. It just like
it's manic. No, I mean it's not that way all the time because the traditional shows that you and I grew up with, those still exist. But the TikTok Riz version of that will definitely be a prominent feature, and that will be a thing. And it really is just a hyper manic, just like pissing contest. Ultimately, it's like it's who's cooler, who's got more clout, who's chasing the most clout, who can get more views on TikTok type shit.
It's almost like the phenomenon of what was happening at noise shows like 5 years ago.
Oh yeah,
like noise shows like leading up to COVID, and then right after the COVID revival, where like it would just be more and more outrageous, like people. Like 40 chainsaws.
I was just gonna say chainsaws buzzing around and just fucking smashing all kinds of shit.
People playing a washing machine. There were like a lot
cans of piss flying around and stuff.
Yeah, and I like noise. My problem is that like I like noise a lot. I like noise is probably one of my favorite genres in music.
Conceptually and sonically, it's great.
I like it. I like it so much conceptually. I like the artistry and everything. But with the advent of the internet, it makes performance art
it's becoming superficial.
Yeah, the shit that like Yoko Ono was doing, that like I like Yoko Ono's performance art a lot. Like
we gave her a lot of shit back in the day, but she really was ahead of her time.
She's got one of her favorite. Dude, that fucking video of her singing. Yeah, and then Chuck Berry's face, and he's just like,
goddamn.
He's just like, oh, goddamn
it, John Lennon, what are you doing?
He's like, goddamn white woman, and then he thinks about it. And he's like, she ain't even white.
She ain't even a white woman.
She ain't even.
But
a
she
white
acting
woman.
like a white woman.
But I love to watch her take a duty.
Yeah, dude, Chuck Berry, man, goddamn.
I gotta remind myself that as a clip. I'm gonna cut that just like our King of the Hill clip.
Oh, can you AI that?
That'll be a reel. I'll make that a viral reel.
Can you AI Chuck Berry saying that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I probably could. I could find one.
But I love seeing.
And then all of our friends will get mad at me about how much water I'm using again.
Yeah.
All of our friends are pissed at me because I did those AI videos. They're like, you know how much water you fucking used to make that AI video? And I said, I don't give a shit.
I don't give a fucking shit. No, the Memphis shit is crazy though. But my dad was trying to convince me to get into electronic management systems and stuff because I'm like, if I start a new job and I'm working part time, I want to start taking classes so I can get a degree or start a new career path. And he's like, well, you should go into electronics and become a systems management and server manager and all for the AI companies because these mega centers are going to be popping up. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that, and there's probably great money involved in that, but like the one that happened in Memphis that they were only slated for like 13 turbines or some shit, and they started like 33 out of 35. The Tesla Supercenter that occurred is causing like nothing but health issues, and I forgot what it is. But the exhaust and the pollution that's being caused is causing so many fucking health issues for the black community because they're building them in poor black areas. You know, so ethically, it's like, yeah, I could try to get my bag up, and I probably definitely could, but at the same time, it's like what's it going to be worth when I just fucking suck off a shotgun and blow my brains out at the end of it? Because, you know, I can't be involved in this world anymore.
And those things are so subject to like like those things can become political. You know what I mean? And then those things can get so subject.
Political.
Basically what your dad is saying is he's trying to he's like one step removed from like learning a trade. Just go into electrical like me. We should both just fucking get our electrical because Julie looked at this because she's always looking at shit like this.
I would be cool with that, but like getting into AI
2 years
systems.
of working as an electrician, you get automatic guarantee get a green card in Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
What about in Iceland?
Oh, I'm sure a lot of places. You know what my new dream is?
I need to learn Reykjavik.
I was telling Julie, I
Icelandic.
was like, Julie, you know what my 25-year plan is? To open a tiki bar in Mexico City.
Oh, really?
That I would
but you know,
live
there's a
in
lot
Mexico
of
City.
You know, there's like a lot of immigration of white people, like white lib Americans that are moving to Mexico City now.
That's where I got the idea from. I'm like,
I saw like a Vice or something.
There are
about
enough
that.
white people there to where like maybe the music will turn off by like 11.
Oh man,
dude,
the cartels are still going rampant. And you know, I saw an interview with a Sinaloa cartel member recently.
They would like me. The cartels would like me. They'd be like, dude, this gringo.
No, but they're like pro-Trump because they're like, the thing is that he's trying to do what's best for his people, and if there weren't any consumers buying all the drugs in America, then we wouldn't even be doing all of this. I'm like, you're full of shit. Of course, he would still be making drugs. He would just be selling it to a different country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, because they were trying to make it out to be like the new administration. What's her name? The new president of Mexico.
Gloria Steinbaum.
Yeah, Scheinbaum. That they're just like
Scheinbaum, yeah.
They're trying to like ramp up the police and military state and cut down all these opium and marijuana fields and the meth factories and all this stuff. Meanwhile, they're shutting down people talking about missing people because there's 1,000 people go missing every month or something in these cartel heavy districts. And don't get me wrong, I don't know much about what's going on in Mexico. I just know it's fucked up.
Yeah. Well, it can be done, dude. Is it the same thing? Like, people act like it couldn't, like it's never going to happen. But think about how the mob is effectively irrelevant now.
Well, they're better these days. They're in the shadows because they're still.
No, there's no. I don't mean to push back on you.
No, I mean, go
there's
ahead.
no money in it
I do.
anymore because of RICO.
Oh, really?
So because of the RICO, because they can do RICO in particular, there's just no money in it because they'll seize all your assets. So businesses just don't do it anymore.
So they keep going under.
Yeah. Where it used to be that the fucking you'll have huge corporations like fucking, WWE or whatever, you know what I mean? Like huge conglomerates of things will be like mob
under mafia affiliation. Yeah.
Is no longer that way. Because effectively, or casinos and stuff, because what happens is if they find out that you've been doing any of the organized crime activities, even the legitimate businesses, all of the assets get seized. So
just by proxy?
But just by proxy, and everybody affiliated with it. So it just makes it so toxic that there's no money in it.
Wow.
And those there's mob, the mafia is gone on record. That's why mob dudes are doing fucking interviews with Vlad TV.
You told people to stop taking fentanyl and go back to crack.
Crack. Fentanyl killing all the junkies who been junkies.
You know what I mean? It'll be you'll go on Mad Vlad TV and it'll be a video of fucking Ari Spears looking all fucking busted up,
dude. I've seen
talking
that.
about and then the next video, and then it'll be a midget talking about a gang, a gang shooting he was in.
Dude, don't say that.
Oh shit!
Fuck me, dude.
Classic Collie B alarm.
Classic Rocky Balboa, dude.
Classic Collie B alarm. But then you'll have a midget talking about a gang shooting he was in, and then the next video will be mafias talk a bunch of 6 or 7 different full-fledged mafia rats because there's just nothing. There's no money in mafia anymore.
Yeah, the underlings.
That's what happened to the Yakuza in Japan.
Oh,
there's
seriously?
no money in it. It's nobody joins the Yakuza. It's a dying thing.
Yeah,
and the
it's
laws got so strict.
Gotta be an isolated industry too.
Yeah, it's just a dying.
Everybody's
industry.
too polite to want to fucking extort.
So what's gonna happen to the cartels?
And it's all just old people in there anyway.
What's gonna happen to the cartels if they legalize all the shit? It's not. People think that the cartels run everything. No, you know what's gonna happen? Dude. There will be no fucking money in it anymore.
Yeah.
So just people who would normally resort to cartel crime would just go to some other kind of crime, or honestly, probably just get jobs.
Yeah.
Because the only reason people join cartels and shit is because it's more lucrative than just doing
tons of fucking money
than just getting a job or shit. But the same reason why people you're in an impoverished area. What's easier, getting a fucking job that you're gonna hate and you're gonna work, or join a gang where you'll get the kickback of some crimes,
some
that
big
you did.
bust. Yeah,
it makes sense why that kind of shit appeals to people,
right?
So whatever. But
so you're sold to some corporate entity,
but as soon as there's no more fucking money in it, it's just gonna all dissolve.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there is.
So Trump's helping them out by keeping the money flowing.
Yeah.
And I should know because there's no headway on marijuana legalization, and I know that because I bought a lot of stock in a fucking company that got a bunch of marijuana shit, and it is tanked.
It is not doing good. No.
It is not doing good. It's the one stock that I listened to my boss on, where he was like, I'll give it a shout out, Tilray Brands. So buy a bunch of Tilray Brands to make the value go up for me. But my boss was like, when I first got started buying fucking stocks and shit, my boss was like, Tilray. And he was like, because they're a brewer, they acquired a bunch of breweries.
Oh, okay.
So they've been buying up breweries, which is also a dying industry. So I shouldn't have been fucking listening to them. But then they were also buying up all this infrastructure for cannabis shit, up in Canada. They're a Canadian company, and they're buying up all these weed factories and everything for recreational cannabis shit. Well, as soon as all the cannabis shit didn't go through, in Florida. It didn't go through all that
Yeah,
shit.
thanks, Ronnie.
Stuff fucking tanked. So,
well, I feel like when you were mentioning the brewery trend, I feel like that stuff is gonna have its moment in the sun for 10 years, and then it's gonna fade away for 10 years, and it'll probably come back after the next 10 years or so. It's the way that cultural shifts have happened since
20-year cycles.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Like, and you know, like when we were talking about the 50s post-war, 50s had their moment, 60s had their moment, 70s, 80s, 90s, and then post 2000s, it's just gonna be in these 20-year cycles, in my opinion. You know, just back and forth.
Well, I should clarify. Nostalgia works in 20-year cycles.
Like, yeah, but that's what I mean. Is the trend
we're all
is
into
nostalgic.
the shit. We're all into like indie sleaze and shit like that. That was popular in 2005.
Right.
It's
And the screamo stuff and the grunge stuff and
it's
the
all
punk
the shit
stuff is all coming back. You know,
dude. The next thing is new metal.
It's been really trying. It's been really trying to come back
because like I've been listening to a ton of new metal lately. Because, dude, fucking...
Well, like Seven Dust. And like
No, I just mean like the greats, like fucking Korn and shit. Dude,
Slipknot.
I've been watching the fucking Korn video of them like, yeah, dude, Slipknot. I forget how good Slipknot is.
Dude, that first album, incredible.
Fuck, that shit rips. But, dude, I watch the Korn Woodstock 99 video of all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And, dude, they come out and they play Blind to open it up.
Oh, my God.
So it's like a good, like... And that the way... Yeah, exactly. The way that Blind is for people, it's just like guitar. And then... While they're all like getting set up and shit, you'll just hear, and so it's an extended intro. The stage is quiet, the stage is dark, and you just hear, and like, and it's going on for a while because they're all getting set up. Still, you kind of see movement on stage and shit,
right,
and then
eventually, like buying time.
You hear the. And then like, and then fucking Jonathan, and then the entire, because it's fucking Woodstock, it's like 1 million people are just fucking bouncing.
And there's fires and shit everywhere.
And since like sound hits people at a different, sound hits people at a different point, people are jumping at different rates in the
so
crowd.
It's literal waves of humans.
So it's waves of humans.
That's
and
crazy.
It's just like, dur, dur, dur. And I watched that. I was fucking ripped off my ass sitting on my porch the other day. I'm becoming one of those dudes that like gets drunk and watches music.
Dude, I
like,
love
live
music documentaries.
Dude, I
love rock docs.
I just get drunk and I watch like live shows and rock docs and fucking music videos and shit. I just
so
like.
Good.
But yeah, I was like fucking ripped off my ass, just like sitting on my porch drinking and like smoking and just watching this video, and I was like, holy shit! It got me like excited, like when I was a teenager, where I'd be like, this is what I want to do with my life. But then I was like, oh yeah, I'm 30. I can't fucking do that. I can't.
Dude, 30 schmurdy. Did you see the Netflix Woodstock 99 documentary?
No.
That was pretty good, and it just basically highlights like the lead up to like the Limp Bizkit moment when shit really started
hit the fan.
Yeah, when everything was just fires and people killing each other. Just
dude, they were like throwing mud and shit at each other.
Yeah,
they like took down a tower.
Well, it's because they were like hyper inflating the prices of like water bottles and shit, and all the bathrooms were dysfunctional, and just like people were sexually assaulting each other and all kinds of
it was like a hell.
Shit.
It was like a hell, dude.
Yeah, it was like if Woodstock was just like I don't know.
It was a Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, Sodom.
Yeah,
exactly.
Dude. Yeah. Like God destroyed it because they were raping the angels.
If it was the end of Berserk, but
this is an R-word heavy episode. I got to put a trigger warning at the beginning.
Yeah,
of this
we have been saying that word.
We have said it multiple times.
That's why I keep saying sexual assault. Honestly,
yeah, we got to tailor our language, but
it's an easier tasteful word.
Yeah,
it's not a tasteful at all, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
But I've seen like videos of Brazil, people be going crazy in Brazil. Apparently, that's the place you want to play.
Well, that's why, like, online...
It's like Woodstock 99 all the time down there.
Well, have you ever seen that joke of, like, any musical artist online? It's like, and you look in the comments, come to Brazil.
Oh, yeah, that's been going on forever.
Holy shit.
Is it rain?
There's a guy out there on fishing.
Oh, my Lord.
Dude, it pisses me off. I, like, for listeners, because no one's a viewer, for listeners, I live over a lake, and I'm on the 3rd floor above a lake, and every now and then people will be out like ripping jet skis or fucking speeding around a lake, and it pisses me off. I'm a Karen about it because I'm just thinking about all the turtles and alligators and shit that live in those waters.
You're a real old Florida head.
There's no reason to be fucking ripping around doing high wake, like doing speedboat tricks and shit. They let their kids go out there doing speedboat shit out in the water, and I'm like, think of all the turtles and shit that you're fucking with.
And it's not really a huge lake.
Pisses me off. No, it's man-made. It pisses me off. Drives me crazy. Anyway, so for people who can't see it, obviously, there's a guy who's fishing, and if I had a BB gun, I'd be shooting BB I think about that all the time. Like, oh man, if I had a BB gun, I mean, not. I'm saying a BB gun for the podcast,
Yeah, I
but
feel you.
you know how I really feel about it.
100%.
Like, dude, if I could just be up here, just like, oh man,
Ka-tung. Yeah.
Julie gets mad at me sometimes because like I am like that. Or like that's why I can't have guns and shit in the house because I think if I had just popped off enough, I would do a Gran Torino where I would just be out there just like, you know,
Get the fuck out of here.
Chinese motherfuckers. Except it would never be Chinese motherfuckers.
It wouldn't be like racial discrimination. It'd just be like, you fucking boonie ass.
It would probably be white people, if anything. I would probably, if I was going to shoot anybody, it would end up being a white person.
Florida white is different than a lot of different kinds.
That's what people don't understand is like Florida whites are their own breed.
Because they're not actually white either. They're like leathery.
Have I ever talked about on pod the people like our on like our bottom floor neighbors that used to live there?
I don't think so. So. Oh, you mean the old ones?
So they were, yeah. So we had some Florida whites that like, I mean, you and I are Florida white passing Latinos, but
yeah.
But you and I are Florida bred, and
we're
so
not
we're
like
used
Salt
to
Life
it.
whites.
Yeah,
though, you know?
Salt Life whites are different. But these like trailer park meth head whites that like lived two floors under us. So they lived on the first floor, we were on the third floor. And we would have problems with them all the fucking time because they would sit outside and they would just be loud and they would be nothing I hate more than people playing shit on their phone speakers in public. And I would be outside
Bejeweled.
and this fucking bitch would be outside playing her fucking TikToks on her phone.
Full volume?
Like full volume. And I'm just out here trying to like just chill. And if I'm outside on my phone, always have an AirPod in.
Yeah.
I am never playing anything out loud.
So if anything, it's just you in the porch and like.
So I'm all quiet. Yeah, exactly. So exactly. I'm like silent out there. I move silently. I'll suppress
you don't want to be
coughs.
perceived.
Yeah, I don't want anyone because I'm out there getting high the whole time. I'm like, I don't want to blow out my spot. As much of a stoner as I am not like a weed guy.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to blow up my spot. So I don't. I'll just.
You're not like listening to Sublime and fucking.
No, I'm smoking in the quiet and I'm like watching an archaeology video in my headphones. Like that's me. And like, and if it's nighttime, I have the minimum brightness so that no one can see the light on the thing. So, but like, so they would fucking sit out there and they would fight with each other, and they would watch football and be like, oh, yeah, and shit like that out on the porch.
Florida State.
And one time, Julie works from home. One time she was like, had gone and been like, hey, I work from home. I live on the third floor, and I can hear if you could just like quiet down.
She confronted them about it?
Yeah, and she was nice about it because that was the first confrontation that she had. And then the lady was like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then one night I hear her, I'm outside smoking, and I hear the lady downstairs talking shit about Julie, saying like, oh, this bitch came over and blah, 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 and was like pissed about it. And then so like I started doing shit.
Two-faced ass passive-aggressive motherfucker.
Exactly. So I started doing shit like I would put on a high-pitched noise. I would put on a speaker, and I would just put on a high-pitched and I would just play it out there all the time, just to like drive. Like after that, because they like. Oh, I should say I didn't escalate it right away, but like so I heard them saying
for legal reasons.
Yeah,
of course.
so
I
wasn't doing that right away, but after I heard them say that, I was like, man, fuck them. And then after one day, Julie's walking by with the dogs, and then. The girl is outside smoking, and one of her friends is over, and she says about Julie, this fat cunt, which is like, Julie's not fat. It's like an insane thing to say, and it's just
it's projection.
Yeah, it's just projection and some crazy ass shit. So I go down there and confront her in front of her friend, and I'm like,
what the fuck did you just say?
What the fuck are you saying?
God
like, I can
damn
hear you in this shit.
I'd be putting the twang on too. I'm like, you goddamn bitch.
Oh man, I fucking like, I yelled at her and shit because it's like, fuck her, and then like, and I hear her like hitting her kids and all this shit.
Oh, that's fucked.
Yeah, it's completely fucked. And like, I called her out on that shit too. I'm like, I have to fucking listen to you fighting with your fucking druggy ass man and your
domestic
hitting your kids
abuse
and
ass
shit.
fucking.
Yeah, and I said this all in front of her friend, and she's like, you don't know what you're talking about, like all this stuff like that. Well, so she was down. So this continued for months and months and months, and then eventually one night. I hear them fighting all the time, and I would film. Like, I would go out there and record them fighting, and I would, like a Karen, I would send it to the apartment people because I'm trying to get them gone.
Yeah.
Because, like, I have to listen to this shit. We can hear them all
I mean,
the time.
within reason, of course.
Yeah, and my daughter sleeps and has to fucking hear that shit. Like, I can hear her phone in Maddie's room. Like, when I'm putting Maddie to sleep at night.
That's crazy.
I'd be tucking Maddie in, and she'd be out there because this is like a little, like, corner spot where it all echoes.
So it reverberates.
Yeah, so it reverberates. And then so she... I would film them fighting and all this shit. And then one night, like all this stuff comes out. Like, you know, I overhear her talking, and her man and she went over to confront her man about cheating on her at the local Chili's that you know, the one the Chili's that's right over here. Yeah, the one that's like right over here in the same plaza. She went over there to confront him about cheating on her. You got a triple
dipper and a fucking margarita pizza with that whore.
And then they got into a fight in the parking lot, and he went to jail.
Oh, fuck.
And was and because they had been fighting before, and he'd been barely busted for domestic abuse before, he went to jail. And then she quieted down for a while after that. And I know that she had an older son who was like in his teens from another marriage, because Julie was good. Julie did a bunch of research and like found her on Facebook.
Oh no!
Found all these posts. We have her name. We were like, we know that she had mold in her old apartment, so like we know why she moved apartments, because she moved apartments from the front of the building on the second floor to under us. Oh my god! Because we used to hear them on the front all the time and be like, man, I'm glad we don't live around them. And then sure enough, we lived
right here.
So we had all this info on her. We knew all this shit. So the man goes to jail. She's quiet for a bunch of months. Well, one day I'm here chilling, and I am smoking, and I hear a lot of noise downstairs, and I like stop smoking, and it's maintenance people and stuff walking around out there and like messing around in the bushes, and I think they're messing with the AC because the AC units are down there.
Yeah.
So I give it a little bit of time, whatever, and then me and Julie go shopping at a certain point, and then there's a citizens crime unit or like a crime unit out there. And there's a bunch of people like moving around, or a bunch of complex people moving around, and then this crime unit.
Is that just like people in uniform, or is there like a van?
There's a van, and you can see it. So we leave and we go shopping, and then we come back to bring our groceries back, and there's some of the people from the complex, like neighbors of ours, are outside, and they found that lady dead. She had, because when we looked up her record, she had all these arrests for drugs and all this shit.
Was it OD?
And yeah, I think that's what it was. Or her body just shut down. Because, you know, if you have significant drug abuse,
you're drinking Dr. Peppers every day.
It could be any day.
Eating cheeseburgers.
It was pretty trippy. And then we were in and out of the apartment that day. At a certain point, we came back, and this is the sad part.
Her ghost is still here.
Yeah. I know. I believe it. Every now and then I hear a TikTok playing, and I'm like,
she's back.
She's back.
Oh, no.
Damn, that's crazy.
But anyways, like...
Yeah, it's people's business.
And it's just like how there was this one dude I used to work with who was a full-blown, like, white supremacist, and he died. What? And then there's this other dude that I worked with.
How did he die?
We don't know if he killed himself or overdosed or what.
But it was something
some sort
like,
of suicide. Yeah, something happened. But, like...
self-inflicted.
Yeah, some sort of self-inflicted death. But like 3 different people now who were my enemies have died. So like I'm very careful now about what I wish upon people. On that note, I'm sorry
for the monkey's paw, bro. Yeah. You only got like 1 finger left now.
Yeah, I'm sorry for a very Connor dominant episode.
No, that's fine, dude.
But we're towards the end of this first episode. Excited. On the next episode we record, we'll do all all the news topics
all the
on the next
stuff.
episode. Yeah. Anything you want to plug, or you think?
Well,
I think we're both in hiatus right now. Anyway,
a little bit, just a little bit. Mega Money might be coming back in a little bit. I've been doing a hardcore thing.
Hell yeah. Me and Collie B started a Screamo band.
Yeah, dude. I thought it was going to be kind of grindy, too.
It's a Screamo violence.
Okay.
Whatever they call the power violence and Scrams combo, whatever it's called. Emo violence. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is it going to be like
an orchid kind of
I was going to go... just some like...
you could do that if you wanted to. Dude, if you want to make it a power violence band, it could just be a power violence band.
Well, I've just been listening to a lot of like grind and shit, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck.
I have
lyrics. It could be highs, it could be lows. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I figured you'd just be screaming.
I was actually researching because they sent me a video. The vocalist for this hardcore band that I'm doing, he sent me a video for the art of screaming with Melissa Collins or whatever. Yeah. It's like this vocal coach that's been working with these extreme bands since the 90s and stuff. So I'm trying to do it so I don't blow my fucking voice out.
Yeah.
And do it properly with like breath training and diaphragm techniques and stuff like that. And I'm not using vocal fry, but not using my vocal cords to shatter them, you know?
Yeah.
Because that shit's... Remember when we used to do Tarantulosaurus and I would just blow my shit out every time?
Dude, yeah, I get sick doing it. I have no clue how to do any of that shit.
No, it's awful. But
I'll try and do the... And I'll make myself nauseous doing it.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
So yeah, Mega Money.
Mega Money, we did take a little hiatus for a bit, but I'm gonna finish that demo up real quick. The band, the hardcore band, doesn't have a fucking name yet, still. So, but that's what we're gonna work on this weekend. You and I were working on this stuff this weekend too. And one thing I did want to say though is that I watched with my girlfriend. Shout out my girlfriend Sarah. We went and I thought we went to Sunray Cinema. Shout out Sunray. It's a little like boutique,
indie,
like kind of local, indie cinema. Really cool place. They got a lot of vegan shit too. It's kind of really cool. A little pricey, not too bad. Honestly, the prices are actually very
for
affordable.
what it is,
It's actually very affordable. But anyway, we saw this movie that I didn't do any research on because sometimes I like to go in blind. Like with Sinners, I didn't do any research. Sinners was a great time. Not a great time, but you know what I'm saying. Sinners was palatable. It was something that you could just sit and watch, and you're like, oh shit, oh what, oh no way. This movie that we saw, Bring Her Back.
Oh, I was literally about to make a joke. It's no Bring Her Back.
Dude, did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it's...
Okay, so I thought it was going to be a horror movie, or at the very least a psychological thriller. It's, no spoilers, but it is the most traumatic fucking shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, it has to do with these kids in the foster kid system. I'm not going to say any more than that. Whatever darkness you can imagine that could possibly occur from then on, watch a trailer if you must. I just really recommend don't watch it by yourself. Don't take a date to go see it. Watch it with a homie, and don't expect it to be a good time. Because it's not going to be a good time. It's not going to be like I learned something. It's not going to be like thrilling. It's not going to be like jump scares. No jump scares. Just trauma. Just unsettling. Gut-wrenching. Just fuck your life up type of movie. So
those are my favorite types of movies.
Yeah, I know. And every time I say that to people, I'm like,
I like a movie
don't
that
watch
challenges me as opposed to entertains me.
Let me put it to you this way. So at the end of the film, there was maybe like 6 other people in the cinema. We're sitting there, and I'm shielding her at a certain point. Like I'm like, even myself, I'm like, ooh. There's points where I'm like fucking like plastered against the back of my seat, like oh, like not even like just trying to be funny with my visceral reactions. It was like I literally was in fight or flight mode at certain points, and I don't react like that because I have a high tolerance to horror movies and shit like that.
Yeah.
At the end of the film, everybody in the theater was just sitting there, staring at the screen in dead silence for the credits, and everybody gets up and walks around and just like kind of like doesn't look at anybody and just kind of like just stumbles away silently and fucked up. Like we all just went through some shit.
Yeah.
Like trauma bonded. So it's just a little warning. I know that's gonna make people want to see it more, but I'm just saying it will change you. It will fuck you up. I had to literally sit there and decompress with her for over 2 hours in the parking lot to like get back to normal. Like it's not a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's like shot well, very like well thought out story. Like as far as like the cinematic angle of everything goes,
that justifies anything to me.
You will watch it and be like, wow, that was something.
I mean, it's like 1,000 Days in Sodom.
You know, I never even finished that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And you know, those movies are like it's like a horrible thing to watch, and it's like a horrible experience. But then like
it's up there, bro.
That's literally the point.
It is up there.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
so. Just be warned. I know people are going to be
like,
like,
"Oh, noise.
No, I want to see it
it's
more."
why I like noise music. It's like I don't like an art.
It's jarring, disturbing.
I don't think some shit's supposed to make you think.
Yeah,
some shit's supposed to make you think. On that note, don't think about anything that we said today.
No, please don't.
Just go fucking vibe. Next episode, we promise we'll talk about the new pope.
The new pope.
Love you.
Bye.